Cancer is one of the most mysterious and intense signs of the zodiac, known for their deep emotions, intuition, and protective nature. They can surprise you in ways you'd never imagine. Today you will discover 20 reasons why Cancer is the most feared sign, and some of them will absolutely shock you. From their quiet strength to their emotional intelligence, these traits make them unforgettable. And number 3 is absolutely incredible. Whether you know a Cancer personally or just admire them from afar, you won't believe what they are capable of until you see it with your own eyes. Before we start, share your zodiac sign and birth date in the comments. I'd love to read them. Let's start with number 20. Number 20. Their intuition is so sharp they know what you're thinking before you even say it. Cancer's intuition is almost otherworldly. It's not just a hunch or a feeling. It's a deep, emotional intelligence that allows them to read people with frightening accuracy. They feel when someone's energy shifts, when words don't match emotions, and when something is hanging unsaid in the air. You might think you're hiding your true thoughts, but a Cancer sees right through you. They notice even the smallest details, a look, a hesitation, a change in tone, and they piece together the truth. Their intuition protects them, guiding them away from danger and toward what feels right. But it also makes those around them nervous. You can't fake emotions with a Cancer because they instantly feel the difference. They know what is real and what is forced. This ability gives them a quiet, invisible power, but one strong enough to unsettle anyone who stands in their way. They don't need proof to know the truth. They just feel it. And that is why a Cancer's intuition is not only impressive, but also intimidating. Your number 19, Sibin. They may seem gentle, but once betrayed, they become ruthless. A Cancer's heart is soft, kind, and deeply loyal until it's broken. When they love, they give everything. Their care is safe, almost sacred. But if that trust is destroyed, something inside them changes forever. They don't explode with anger, they don't scream, nor do they beg for explanations. Instead, they go silent, distant, and cold. Their revenge isn't loud, it is emotional and precise. They know exactly what to say or what silence to use so someone feels the exact same pain they once felt. It's not cruelty, it's balance. Cancer believes in emotional justice, and once they decide you've crossed the line, they won't give you a second chance. What makes them so feared is how easily they switch from caring to unrelenting. You won't see it coming. One day, they are warm and loving. The next, they are strangers, calm but unreachable. This emotional shift cuts deeper than any confrontation. Cancer doesn't destroy people. They simply take away their energy. And when they do that, their absence feels like a punishment. That is the power of their quiet revenge. Neil and Chen, Onspur, number 18. They never forget the good or the bad. A Cancer's memory isn't just sharp, it's emotional, vivid, and lasting. Every moment, every feeling, every conversation leaves a mark. When you show them kindness, they will cherish it forever. But if you hurt them, that memory doesn't fade. It becomes part of who they are. They remember exactly how you made them feel. Even years later, they can recall the exact words, the exact expression, the exact emotion. This makes them deeply loyal to those who treat them well and impossible to fool twice. Their memory is both a blessing and a curse. It allows them to learn from every experience, but it also traps them in the echoes of their past. You can apologize or try to change, but you cannot erase what is already etched into their heart. They forgive slowly, and even then, they never truly forget. People fear this about Cancer because it means every action has meaning. Every emotion counts. Once you leave a mark on them, it remains. Beautiful or painful, but permanent. That's why their love feels eternal and their disappointment unforgettable. Think we've covered everything? Guess again. Number 17. Their emotions change with the moon and pull others along with them. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and this connection gives them a power that feels cosmic, just like the tides. Their emotions rise and fall in natural cycles. One moment they radiate warmth and comfort. The next, they retreat into quiet reflection. But what makes this so intense? It's how their moods affect everyone around them. A Cancer's energy cannot be ignored. It changes the atmosphere. When they are happy, everything seems brighter. When they are sad, the air becomes heavy. People often find they are mirroring their emotions without even realizing it. It's not manipulation, it's magnetism. Cancer's emotional pull is strong, drawing others in whether willing or not. They don't just feel their emotions, they live in them, and those around them get pulled into the same rhythm. That is what makes them mysterious. You never know which version of them you will meet. They are just as unpredictable and beautiful as the moon itself. Their power lies in emotional depth, in the ability to make you feel everything they feel. And that connection, both tender and overwhelming, is why they are so feared. Number 16. Their emotional memory is dangerous. Every wound is remembered with precision. When a Cancer gets hurt, the pain doesn't disappear. It becomes part of their emotional DNA. They remember every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment they felt small. Not just the event itself, but the feeling, the tone of your voice, the silence that followed, the look in your eyes. This level of memory gives them a power few understand. They use pain as fuel, turning emotional scars into lessons and boundaries. But it also means they know exactly where to strike if you ever try to hurt them again. Their empathy allows them to deeply understand emotions, but their memory gives that empathy sharp edges. They can be incredibly compassionate until they decide it's time to protect themselves. Once that happens, their emotions become armor. The scary part is, they won't scream or attack. They will simply shut down the part of themselves you once had access to. You will feel a wall go up, cold and final. That is how Cancer survives, by remembering, learning, and never letting the same blow strike twice. Number 15. They can manipulate without you realizing it, using only silence or guilt. Cancer doesn't need loud words or dramatic gestures to control a situation. Their power lies in silence, a silence that speaks louder than any argument. When they feel wronged or hurt, they don't always react immediately. Instead, they withdraw, letting the weight of their absence or disappointment fill the room. That silence makes others nervous. You start questioning yourself, replaying every word, trying to fix what feels wrong. Cancer understands emotions better than anyone and knows that guilt can be stronger than anger. They use it naturally, not out of malice, but because they understand how deeply feelings influence behavior. You might think you're leading the situation, but you soon realize you are reacting to their emotional rhythm. They pull you in without a single word. Their calm eyes, pauses, quiet, disapproving looks. All of this forces you to explain yourself and to fix things. This is how Cancer maintains control, not through force, but through emotional pull. It is subtle, elegant, and terrifyingly effective. Number 14. When they love with absolute intensity, but once you lose them, there is no going back. When a Cancer falls in love, it is all or nothing. They don't love halfway. Their affection consumes them completely. They nurture, protect, and give without limits. Being loved by a Cancer is like coming home, but if that love is taken for granted or betrayed, the same depth that once held you becomes unreachable. When they decide to leave, they don't just leave physically, they also disconnect emotionally. It is a quiet end, but a permanent one. You can try to contact them, apologize, or reconnect, but their heart will already be closed. Once a Cancer realizes that giving more will only bring pain, they shut the door with grace and finality, and that is what makes losing them so devastating. You won't lose them in a storm of anger. You will lose them in silence. You will remember their warmth, their care, their presence, and the sudden chill that follows. A Cancer doesn't come back because when they love, they mean it, and when it's over, they mean it too. It only gets better from here. Just wait. Number 13. They are masters of emotional revenge. They will force you to feel what they once felt. Cancer's revenge isn't about destruction, it's about reflection. They won't scream or cause chaos. They will make you understand exactly how your actions made them feel. Their emotional intelligence gives them a rare power. The ability to hold up a mirror to your soul. When you hurt a Cancer, they don't always retaliate immediately. They wait, letting time reveal your intentions, and when the moment is right, they return the emotion, not the action. It might be through silence, distance, or indifference, but the impact is the same. You feel what they once felt. It is never excessive, never cruel, just precise. Cancer teaches empathy through experience, and that is why it hurts so much. They don't destroy your life. They force you to face yourself. Their calm during this process is what is so terrifying. You realize too late that every emotion you once dismissed has returned to you. That is the art of Cancer's revenge. Poetic, emotional, and unforgettable. Number 13. Their sensitivity is a weapon. They sense your weak spots and know when to push them. Cancer feels everything, and this sensitivity gives them insight that others underestimate. They can instantly gauge the emotional temperature of a room. They know when someone is nervous, insecure, or faking. Confidence. At first, this isn't manipulation, it's perception. Oh, but when pushed too far, they can use this knowledge as a weapon. They know exactly which words to use to hit where. It hurts the most. It's not out of cruelty, but self-defense. Cancer doesn't start wars, but they know how to end them. Their intuition tells them where your emotional armor is weak, and if you betray them, they will aim right there. This is what makes them so disarming. Their gentleness hides a sharp, emotional intelligence that under pressure can turn into precision. Most people never see this because they mistake Cancer's empathy for weakness. But sensitivity in their hands is power. They can heal or hurt, and the choice depends entirely on how you treat them. That is what makes their emotional depth both beautiful and dangerous. Number 11. They don't need to raise their voice to take control. Their calm unsettles you even more. When a Cancer gets into a conflict, they don't scream, they don't lose control. Their strength lies in their composure. While others argue and raise their voices, Cancer remains quiet, observing, listening, and letting the silence speak. That calm is unnerving. It forces people to confront their own emotions. The more you try to provoke them, the more control they gain. Their steady tone, their measured responses, all of it creates a sense of balance that others cannot disrupt. It is psychological dominance in its purest form. Cancer doesn't need to prove they are right. They simply are. You feel it in the silence, in how they hold eye contact, in how they pause before speaking. That quiet power commands attention. People feel it and back down without realizing why. It's not aggression, it's emotional authority. Cancer doesn't overpower others. They disarm them, and that is what makes them dangerous. And their calm isn't weakness, it's control. The kind that makes you question your every word long after the conversation ends. Number 10. They can pretend to be okay while quietly planning how to protect themselves or get even. Cancer is a master of emotional masking. When they are hurt, they don't always show it. Instead, they smile, remain calm, and let everyone believe they've moved on. But beneath that calm surface, their mind is processing everything, every word, every action, every intention. They don't react impulsively. They plan. They build emotional walls. They decide who to trust. And sometimes they quietly prepare their revenge. It's not always about getting back at someone. Often it's about protecting themselves so they are never hurt in the same way again. Their ability to hide pain fools people. You think they have gotten over it, but in reality they are just watching, calculating, and healing in private. That is, what makes them dangerous. Their power hides in plain sight. By the time you realize they've withdrawn, it's already too late. Cancer doesn't need confrontation to win. They win through control, controlling their emotions and choosing when and if to react. Their quietness isn't weakness, it is strategy, and their silence is the sound of power in motion. This will surprise you, but after number 9, you'll be even more surprised. Number 9. When they retreat into their shell, no one can reach them. When a Cancer feels in danger or overwhelmed, they vanish into their emotional shell, a space where no one else has access. It is their fortress, built of memories, intuition, and silence. Once they go inside, they are unreachable. Calls go unanswered, messages are ignored, emotions are locked away. You can try to comfort them, draw them out, but it won't work until they decide it's time. Their isolation, isn't a punishment, it's protection. Inside that shell, they find clarity, replay events, analyze feelings, and rebuild their emotional strength. It is a healing process that outsiders rarely understand. People often mistake this retreat for coldness or detachment, but in reality, it is a profound act of self-preservation. Cancer knows that emotions are sacred, and sometimes the only way to protect them is to hide them. When they finally emerge, they are stronger, calmer, and more focused than before. But once they decide who no longer deserves access, those doors stay shut. Their shell isn't a weakness. It is their greatest weapon, because once a Cancer hides, no one can touch them, not even emotionally. Number 8. They are unpredictable. Within seconds, they can switch from tenderness to absolute coldness. Cancer's emotions are like the tides, calm one moment, stormy the next. Without warning, they can shift from nurturing and loving behavior to distant and indifferent. This unpredictability keeps people on edge. One minute they are warm and understanding, the next they are unreadable. It's not manipulation, but emotion in its purest and rarest form. When they feel safe, their love flows freely. But if they sense betrayal or insincerity, their warmth freezes instantly. They can suppress all feelings and hide behind a mask of calm indifference. This sudden change shocks people because it reveals a side of Cancer we rarely see, a side That protects itself at all costs. It's not that they stopped caring, but that they care too much. And the only way to stop the pain is to become untouchable. You will see their eyes change, their presence flatten, cold. It is an emotional eclipse, total, silent, and absolute. This ability to detach so completely while still feeling deeply inside is what makes Cancer so powerful and so feared. Number 7. Their loyalty has limits, and when you cross them, they vanish without explanation. Loyalty defines a Cancer. They will stand by you in chaos, defend you when no one else will, and love you even on your worst days. But that loyalty isn't blind. It has limits. Once they realize you've crossed a line or taken them for granted, they don't make a scene. They vanish. No warnings, no confrontations, no long explanations, just silence. One day they are there, and the next they are gone. It is their way of protecting their peace. They have no obligation to say goodbye to those who betrayed their trust. What is so unsettling about this is the calm with which they do it. Cancers don't leave out of anger. They leave out of self-respect. Their absence is final, and their silence says everything. People who have experienced this describe it as emotional exile. One moment, you are part of their world, and then nothing. That silent disappearance is heartbreaking and terrifying because it proves that once a Cancer runs out of loyalty, it's forever. They don't come back. And that finality makes their love so sacred and their loss so haunting. We are only just beginning. Ready for more? Number 6. They are not afraid to be alone. They trust their inner world more than anyone else. Cancer is one of the few signs that finds true peace in solitude. While others fear silence, they find comfort in it. Their inner world is rich, emotional, and full of meaning. They don't need constant company to feel complete because they know how to take care of themselves. Solitude allows them to reconnect with their intuition, recharge their emotions, and regain their strength. People often mistake this independence for detachment, but in reality, it is self-mastery. Cancers are not dependent on the validation of others. They find it within themselves. They understand that solitude is not loneliness, but freedom. It is the moment when their thoughts clear, emotions settle, and their soul heals. That is why they never chase people who have left, nor do they beg for attention. They simply return to themselves. Their peace is their power, and they guard it fiercely. Cancer feels good in solitude, which makes them unbreakable because no matter what happens, they always have a home in their heart, a place no one can take away. Number 5. Hedge. They can detect a lie with a single glance. Cancer has an almost supernatural ability to read people. They don't need proof or explanations. Just one look is enough. Their intuition is like an emotional radar that instantly picks up on insincerity. When someone is lying, even just a little, they sense it. A change in tone, a hesitation, a glint in the eyes. Nothing escapes them. What makes this ability so unsettling is that Cancers rarely confront you right away. They stay quiet, pretending to believe you, while they already know the truth. Their silence hides observation, and their mind records every detail. They study behavior, connect emotions, and before you realize it, they've figured it all out. You cannot lie to someone who perceives energy so deeply. They feel the intent long before words are spoken. People fear this in Cancers because, in their presence, it is impossible to fake authenticity. They see behind the words, behind the smiles, behind the masks. When they look at you, They see the raw, uncomfortable, and real truth, and in that moment, there is nowhere to hide. Number 4, they know how to use their emotions to control the atmosphere around them. What Cancer's emotions are powerful forces that shape the world around them. When they walk into a room, everyone feels it. Their presence changes the mood. Warmth when they are happy, tension when they are hurt. It's not intentional manipulation, but instinct. They can express emotions so deeply that others react unconsciously. But when they choose to, they can. Use this power deliberately. A pause, a look, a sigh. That is enough to shift the entire emotional energy of a space. They can soothe chaos with kindness or command attention with silence. People follow their emotional cues without realizing it. That is the subtle control a Cancer has. Not sheer through authority, but through feelings. They rule through emotional gravity, pulling everyone into their rhythm. It is a gift and a weapon. It depends on how they use it. When they want peace, they create harmony. But if they've been hurt, their energy can become cold and distant, freezing everything around them. Their emotions aren't just felt, they control the atmosphere. That is why being near a Cancer is never neutral. You always feel their presence, even without words. The next part might stun you. Number 3. Their dark side is deeply protective. They only hurt to defend themselves. A Cancer's love is gentle, but their dark side is fierce. When they sense danger or betrayal, something inside them awakens a protective instinct that borders on primal. They don't attack for power or revenge. They attack only when they feel cornered. But when they do, it is swift and unforgettable. Their emotional intelligence becomes a weapon, and they use it with precision. They know exactly how to make someone feel the pain they caused. It's not cruelty, it's survival. Their dark side protects their heart, ensuring no one can hurt it a second time. People often mistake this for coldness or manipulation, but in reality, it is self-care in its purest form. Cancer will fight for peace, but they will also fight to protect their boundaries. And once they decide to defend, they won't stop until they feel safe again. This balance between tenderness and darkness makes them one of the most misunderstood and feared signs. Their shadow isn't evil. It is sacred armor forged from love and pain. Tamber, their silence is the most feared punishment. When Cancers go silent, the whole world around them feels it. Their silence isn't empty. It is full of meaning, tension, and emotional weight. This is how they express disappointment without words. They don't need to scream or argue. Their absence says everything. You start feeling the void they once filled. Their warmth, their care, their laughter, everything is gone. That silence becomes haunting because it forces you to face yourself. Cancer uses silence not to control, but to reclaim their peace. When they stop, explaining it means they have already detached. And that is what makes their silence so powerful. It is final. It is the moment their heart decided that speaking changes nothing. People fear it because it isn't loud or angry. It is calm and absolute. It is the emotional equivalent of a door closing forever. Once Cancer loses their voice, it's not a pause. It's the end of the story. And that quiet ending is louder than any argument. Number 1. The most terrifying thing. When a Cancer stops feeling, they turn to stone. For Cancer, emotions are life. Their love, intuition, and compassion come from deep feelings. But when they are hurt too much, something inside them shifts. They stop feeling. Not because they don't care, but because they cared too much for too long. This transformation is terrifying. The warmth that once defined them vanishes. replaced by a quiet, distant silence. They become untouchable, not out of anger, but out of exhaustion. When a Cancer reaches this point, nothing can move them. Words, apologies, promises, everything is futile. Their empathy shuts down, leaving only pure self-preservation. It is their final defense mechanism, the point where their soul decides that feelings are too dangerous. People who have seen this side of Cancer never forget it. The same heart that once overflowed with emotions becomes an invincible stone. And that is the main reason. Why do we fear Cancer? Because when their love dies, so does every chance of ever reaching them again.